Okay, guys. It's Old Man G again. Whew, for another video today. I'm putting them out today. Um, Basically, I've been reluctant to do any videos at all, to be honest, on Bruno Fernandes, just because there's so many outlets: Daily Mirror, Sky, Daily Mail, BBC, maybe not so much BBC, Sun, and so on. Certainly British outlets and obviously the Portuguese press that have been speculating about Bruno Fernandes, going from they've reached an agreement, it's the fee, to they haven't reached agreement, to he's coming, he's really wants to come, he's interested, to he's not. So there just seems to be this sort of going back and forth with regards to Bruno Fernandes, and to be honest, my general feeling of the issue of Bruno Fernandes is coming to know is that I think United are interested in Bruno Fernandes, um, but I don't believe that a good firm offer has been made. That's my impression, because I think if a good firm offer had been made, I think that Sporting would have announced it and maybe said, "All right, we rejected it." Maybe initial offer had made, but it was too low, like say 20, 30 million or whatever. You know how United are. Um, but that I think is where I think things are. I think the United desperately want him to come. I'm sure that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants him to come, and especially with, as we discussed in the previous video, with the Pogba issue we need, and obviously Ander Herrera leaving, we need to strengthen that midfield. I think it's an absolute travesty, if I'm honest, that you've okay, Fellaini's gone, you know, they have his quality, but Herrera's gone. So, but essentially, you've had two midfield players that have gone, and you've replaced them with who exactly? Okay, yes, Fred and maybe McTominay can sort of step into the team, but I feel like at the very least we need to make and but then if you're thinking of Pogba's leaving, at the very least we need to bring in a good quality midfielder. And right now I'm looking at the midfield and assuming Pogba leaves, we don't have that. So I think Bruno Fernandes, no one else is in from it. It seems like Liverpool seem to drop their interest because I don't think they're prepared to pay Sporting's fee, which is probably maybe 60, somewhere between 60 and 70 million, I would imagine. But yeah, I mean, your last reports are saying that they've seen him flying into the beach. It was actually someone else, Van Persie, I think. And just now, I think today, he's obviously gone on tour with Sporting Lisbon. Now that doesn't mean anything. Just because you go on tour, and doesn't mean you're going to stay with them for the rest of the season. But the point I'm trying to make is that the idea that United are somehow really ridiculously close and we're going to sign him in the week. We've been close to signing Bruno Fernandes at the end of the week for weeks now. And this is why I've been hesitant to actually do a video on Bruno Fernandes, because I just don't think that, I just don't think we're close. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I just don't think that we're close at all. And I think given how slow it took to sign Wan-Bissaka, I think that we will be slow with this and we'll be dragging our heels so that we can basically get a good deal. I don't think that's inherently wrong, but I do think that we need to, the sooner you sign players, the better, because having a good pre-season is a good for a good full season. That's the way I see it. That's where you get the chemistry, that's where you get familiar with the team, etc. And sometimes when you see players that just come straight into the squad and they perform badly maybe for one or two games, a lot of people get on players' backs, but it's like, but come on for a second, think about it. How long have they actually been playing with the team? We expect them to hit the ground running, and it's like, well, no, they need to have chemistry, they need to be able to gel in, and that's why pre-season, I believe, is so very important. But unfortunately, the head of recruitment doesn't seem to be able to get some of these deals off the line. We still only signed two. I'll probably make a video about Sean Longstaff and potentially Matthias de Ligt at some point as well. But again, I'm curious to see what you guys think, because I have no problem with Bruno Fernandes. I think Bruno Fernandes coming in would be a good addition, as I think Milinkovic Savic would be. But there's just so many reports, and I just don't think that right now we are close to a deal. All I can gather is that we are very, very interested, but we are still dragging our heels when it comes to making a deal. Now, I anticipate that hopefully by the end of, or near to the end of the transfer season, we would have said, you know what, we'll come to an agreement and we'll pay this. Just like the Wan-Bissaka deal was quite slow, Crystal Palace, I feel that we will come to that arrangement with Bruno Fernandes at some point. And the impression I get from Bruno Fernandes is that he is probably keen for a move as well. So there's no one else in for him, so it's all clean sailing. So I think that we just have to have patience, as annoying as it is, and hope and pray that Bruno Fernandes will be signed, and that maybe there might be one or two other signings, I don't know. So as I've said in previous videos, the big thing for me is what is not leaving the club. And, you know, when we have players like Lukaku and Pogba who have already voiced that they want to leave, on top of deadwood players like your Rojos and your Darmians, and possibly even Phil Jones, if I'm honest, who are still staying in the club, wanting new contracts, you know, it baffles me because essentially you're just getting a very, very overinflated squad and then no outgoings. And whether that's because the players on so many high wages that they can't be offloaded, it's probably a factor. But, you know, we have to find some way of offloading, of getting them, because it's not good. Essentially, it's not good for our youth development, and it's also not good. It's not good for our wage bill, obviously. It's not good for the squad in general because of a squad harmony, etc. When you have such a high inflated squad and players that presumably want to play, it just doesn't work. It's just not good, and it puts pressure on the manager as well, who is presumably has to forcibly has to play certain players to justify their keep. So, you know, I would really like to see, as much as I would like to see Bruno Fernandes come in, I think that's very important. I would also really like to see signs that players have been leaving. You know, obviously Valencia, I think, has gone on contract. I'm not sure about Mata, but I see Mata a new contract. But it would just be nice to have at least some activity on the outgoing. Nothing personal to any of those players. I think they've been valuable certain amounts, and any time a player leaves, I always post on Twitter, you know, I have a thanks to those players for what they've contributed to the Manchester United Football Club. But at the same time, for the sake of the squad and for the sake of unity, I just think that some of these players need to move on, and we obviously need to be good in the transfer window as well. So yeah, again, I asked you guys, what do you guys think? Do you think Bruno Fernandes? I think I did a poll on Twitter, and I think a lot of people unanimously said that Bruno Fernandes was the midfielding option that they wanted. I'm curious to see, how do you think he will play? How do you think he'll fit in the squad? Do you think he will adapt to the Premier League? You know, do you think he will be able to step into a team that is actually in a process of rebuilding? How do you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will play him? These are questions that I help to, want to promote discussion in the comments and on Twitter as well. I'm curious to see what you guys think and want. But more importantly, I'm curious to think whether you guys think we'll actually even get this transfer done, and how far you actually think we are with this transfer. Because I've said, if I'm honest, although I think we are in for him, a lot of the so-called experts have been saying that we've been in for him for ages. Well, not everybody, but a certain amount of people have been saying it, and we're no closer to signing him, I believe, than we were at the beginning of the transfer window, because we haven't agreed a fee. We have the money, so we should be able to do it. But given United's record of really slow and laborious signings, I think it's going to take a bit of time, probably towards the end of the transfer, where we get some news that we're actually definitively in for signing Bruno Fernandes. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope this week we can announce Bruno Fernandes as a Manchester United player, and I will post a video welcoming him if that is the case. But until then, stay tuned and fingers crossed. This summer transfer window is going to be very, or at least the end anyway, going to be very, very interesting. Okay guys, so just a reminder again, please like, share and subscribe to this channel at Red Devil Studio. Please follow us on Twitter at WeAreUnitedX. Have a nice day guys, take care and cheers.